Welcome to the Introduction to Officiating training video through the Community Foundation Leadership Academy. In addition to this training video, you have access to a PDF resource that will provide you with the key information needed to begin your officiating journey through the program. We have developed our Leadership Academy to support the continued development of our workforce of student leaders. Leaders will benefit from our structured rewards package in return for their outreach in Tower Hamlets and neighbouring boroughs. The three main pathways through the Leadership Academy are coaching, officiating, and mentoring. Students are free to focus on one of these areas or engage in a combination of these pathways. This presentation will focus on the officiating element of the Leadership Academy, but there are separate resources for the coaching and mentoring pathways. The role of an official is to possess the authority to preside over sport and activity, with duties including, but not limited to, enforcing rules, supervising conduct, and deciding points and results. The authority that an official possesses is dependent on their assigned role. The most common officiating roles in sport are referees and umpires. Other roles include assistants, judges, line persons, and scorers. The principles of great officiating. Great officials are the ones who have a thorough understanding of the laws of the game or sport. Having the confidence and composure to effectively put those rules into place is crucial for an official. The application of these rules must be consistent and clearly communicated through approved signals. It's easy to forget how important it is for an official to be compassionate. This is easier to achieve if an official has experienced a given sporting activity as a participant or a coach and understands the associated spectrum of emotions that can be experienced. To help identify the key to great officiating, we have developed the 5 C's framework. Competence. A core characteristic for effective officiating is possession of sufficient knowledge, skills, and understanding to carry out the duties of the role. Confidence. Once you possess an in-depth knowledge of the laws of the game, you need the confidence to apply them practically and trust that you will make the correct decisions. Consistency. Consistency is key for officials to ensure that all individuals and teams are treated fairly. This prevents you from making contradictory decisions as an official. Communication. The decisions that you make as an official must be clearly communicated with a whistle and/or approved signals. And finally, compassion. It's important to remember that participants and coaches are all human. Your understanding and reaction to emotions can help you maintain conduct in emotional situations. We have broken officiating down into 3 main areas: preparation, delivery, and conclusion. A common way that officials prepare for sporting activity is to analyse key decisions. This may be by analysing decisions from a previous activity or the decisions made by other officials from the same sport. It may also help to go through common scenarios in your head and assess what the correct course of action would be from the officials. It's important to ensure that any periods of self-reflection don't become overly negative. Although it may be easier to reflect upon incorrect decisions, it's just as important to reflect upon the correct ones. Don't be afraid to involve other officials in this practice of reflection. Ensure that you have the equipment that's needed to carry out your officiating duties. Do you need a whistle, cards, pen, paper, scorecard, etc.? Even after you're sure that you have all the equipment that you need, before the activity can start, the official is usually the one responsible for ensuring the safety of participants. It's important that you complete a thorough check of the playing area and the equipment that's intended for use. Without the necessary equipment, you will not be able to carry out your duties effectively. Without a whistle, you will not be able to communicate as clearly and concisely. Without a pen, you may easily lose track of points or the score. And if you need to borrow any equipment from QMSU Sport, then this must be requested in advance and will of course depend on availability. You must ensure that you are dressed appropriately to officiate the session. Ensure that you are easily identifiable as an official. In many cases, the official is often required to be active during the activity and as a result should be wearing suitable attire. The officials should avoid wearing colours that are likely to blend in with the attire of participants. You must be dressed appropriately at each session. You are encouraged to wear Community Foundation clothing, club sport team wear, or clothing provided to you by the club or organisation. Delivery. Ensure that you arrive with enough time for the activity to start on time. This is the chance for you to check the playing area and equipment intended for use. Greet all relevant staff and your participants on arrival. Participants should not have to wait for the official to arrive. Early arrival will allow you to risk assess the area and ensure that it is safe for participation. We expect all of our leaders to arrive 10 to 15 minutes before their sessions are due to begin. You must follow any sign-in procedures or check in with relevant staff members. Setting standards. This depends on the competitive nature of the activity and usually involves a conversation with coaches or captains to establish your expected standards for the upcoming activity. If you feel that it is necessary for standards to be set beforehand, make sure that all expectations remain in line with the laws of the activity. If you decide to implement any rules that aren't aligned with the official rules, then this is likely to lead to a dispute over your conduct. When officiating, you must facilitate the safe engagement with the activity whilst following the 5 C's framework. Ensure that you take a neutral approach and clearly communicate with participants by enforcing the rules in a confident and consistent manner. It's important to remember that emotions can fluctuate in more competitive activity, so it's important to maintain your composure and demonstrate your competence at fulfilling the role. Don't allow the conduct of participants or coaches to influence your use of the 5 C's. It can be easy to make decisions based on the conduct of others, but you must ensure that these decisions are supported by the laws of the activity. You must be prepared to officiate the activity, and at no point should you be using mobile phones, tablets, or other devices during the activity, except in case of emergency. At no point should you be left alone with any individuals, especially those under the age of 18. Conclusion. This will usually include confirmation of the final score or result to all relevant parties. In some cases, there may be questions from participants or coaches regarding the decisions made during the activity. You are encouraged to explain your reasoning behind decisions and inform that your decision is final. Unfortunately, there may also be occasions where participants or coaches are not happy with some of your decisions. It's important to maintain your composure and not engage in any abusive behavior or language. Be sure to report such behavior to the relevant organization following the activity. You must also inform the organization's relevant staff members if for any reason you will not be able to attend any upcoming activities. Getting qualified. In return for 30 voluntary hours, we will fund your officiating qualification up to the value of £200. In return for logging an additional 30 hours, we will contribute £400 towards your next qualification. Please note that we cannot fund both of these qualifications during the same academic year, but hours can roll over across academic years. If you wish to gain your qualification before logging 30 hours, as you feel that this will enhance your delivery, then you can pay for the course and be reimbursed by the Community Foundation once hours have been logged. Please note that this must first be agreed with the Community Foundation team prior to making payment, and proof of purchase, including invoices or receipts, must be provided. In some cases, we do receive NGB funding to develop officials through workshop training and courses before they have logged any hours. In this case, you will benefit from our referee and umpire package and will be committed to an agreed number of hours supporting our various programs as an official. Before facilitating sport in a local community, you will now be required to complete an assessment which can be accessed through the Community Foundation web pages. This assessment will test your knowledge of some of the key learning points from this training video. It is recommended that you download and read the Introduction to Leadership Officiating resource, as this will help to reinforce your learning. This is a very short assessment, and you'll be asked a series of multiple choice questions. You must score at least 75% to pass the assessment. The Community Foundation team will be in touch with confirmation of your score and any feedback on next steps. If you haven't heard back from the Community Foundation within 1 week of completing the assessment, then please email us at communitysport@qmul.ac.uk. So what are the next steps? Before you can start delivering in the community, we will need you to complete an enhanced DBS check. This is a background check to show that you're safe to undertake a role working with young children or vulnerable adults. You will need to complete a check with us even if you previously completed a DBS check outside of the Students' Union or you needed to complete one for your course. You'll receive a DBS certificate in the post once this has been completed. For any Students' Union activity that involves working with children or vulnerable adults, you're required to read and sign the QMSU Safeguarding Agreement. Specifically for engagement with the Community Foundation, you'll also need to read and sign our Service Level Agreement. This outlines the roles and responsibilities of all parties. Both agreements can be signed electronically. Following these steps, you will officially be classed as a leader on our program. We will now be able to support you with opportunities to engage with our local partners, including schools, sport clubs, and community organisations. Thank you for viewing our Introduction to Officiating training video. Remember that you must now complete the short assessment. If you require any support or have any further questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. We very much look forward to watching you develop as an official on our program.